We just got back from the Melges 15 Winter Series event number 2 in Sarasota, Florida, where we saw 30 boats. The numbers are growing, more and more people getting involved, more and more people buying boats. We're seeing this spread across the country, and it's really great to see so many boats heading down to sail in Florida.
It's a great place to sail. I mean, that's really why people want to come down there. Sarasota is an awesome venue, and kind of really nice sea breeze comes in every day, so warm water, sandy beaches, it's really a fun spot. But the sailing this weekend was great. We had, I think, 9 races, kind of a wide range of conditions. The first day we did 5 races, and kind of, maybe a little bit light and lumpy conditions, but still, had some gusts up into the low teens. So, pretty nice sailing. And then the second day it was absolutely perfect, 10 to 15, maybe some gusts a little bit higher than that, and just perfect sailing for the Melges 15s.
So what did you see out there?
Yeah, well, we were actually talking earlier, and we've got all these great photos on Facebook and on Melges.com, and after regattas that we go to, we are always kind of looking to see what other boats we're doing and ways to improve, and with all the photography that's going on at this 15 regatta, it's a really unique opportunity to kind of look and see at how other folks are sailing the boat, how they have their rig tuned, jib track set up, how much headstay sag are they sailing with, what's their body position looking like, so you can kind of look and see, this is how the top boat in the fleet is sailing off the wind, or this is how the top boat in the fleet has their jib track set up. I think that is a really powerful tool to use that I think a lot of people look at the photos and they're like, oh, that's a great photo of me, I'm going to put this, I'm going to share this, right? But they don't necessarily go through everybody else's photos to kind of see what's working. And I know you kind of were doing that, so what exactly were you looking for?
Yeah, after the first day of sailing, I felt like we could have gone a little faster, sailed a little better. So Morgan Kinney from Melges, who does all our marketing and does the photos and does a great job, she had, I think, over 75 photos up that you could view. And so I started looking through them, and yeah, the photos are fantastic. But then I was looking at, like you said, body placement in the boat, sail trim on the main and the jib, things of that nature. And I found, going into the next day on Sunday, I found ourselves trimming the jib harder, which I think was better. We had our jib tracks or jib leads further aft on the track, which I think was better for the shape of the jib and allowed us to trim the jib harder.
Yeah, so give everybody an example. Like on the last day of sailing, where did you have your jib track set in that kind of, steady 13 gusting to 16 range?
Yeah, we had 3 holes showing on the aft part of the track. So if you went from the aft part of the track and went 3 holes forward, that's where our pin was on our track. And on Saturday, the first day when it was lighter, I thought it would be better to have a little more shape in the bottom of the sail. And I don't know that necessarily was true. Having it pulled aft, I think, was better. We had better height on Sunday and equivalent speed, I thought. So that was one big takeaway. And then looking at crew weight in the boat, where people are sitting upwind and downwind, I think it's really beneficial too. There's some really fast boats downwind like Emily Haig and Kate Cox and some others that were going really well downwind. And I think part of it is, where they're positioning their bodies in the boat. When it's windy and the boat's on a plane, they're further aft, hiked out. When it's lighter, they're forward, their body weight in the boat more, with a little more heel in the boat. That was good, so you could sail a little lower. Picking up on some of those small points, I think, really advances your thinking on how to sail the boat. And it's just all from the photos that Morgan took.
That was one of my big takeaways with the downwind sailing, from being on the spectator boat, was the fast boats off the wind were doing a really good job of being dynamic with their weight, fore and aft, transitioning from when there was a lot of wind to when they sailed into a lull, and moving their weight from the wind, from coming from a puff into a lull. You need to move your weight forward, you need to ease the main, and you might even need to move your weight to the leeward side of the boat. You know, the skipper can transition to sitting on the leeward side of the boat while the bow person continues to trim the kite from the windward side. That was something that a few boats did, especially on the first day when it was a little bit lighter. The breeze was a lot more up and down. There were a lot of variations in pressure on the course. So, I know one person that did that really well was Willie Crary. They were a little bit of a heavier team, but they were doing a really good job of transitioning to the low side, getting the main out, making sure that they were sailing kind of the best VMG angle, where other lighter teams weren't doing that, and they were sailing hotter angles, and that allowed them to have a race win on the first day. That was one of the biggest takeaways. So I think that's something that kind of the whole fleet can continue to... Yeah,
there's no question. Craig Lang and Will Crary sailed lower, a little more heel in the boat. They kind of had a low mode. The rest of the fleet, it's really easy to feel the boat slow down and think you have to head up to make the boat go faster downwind. Yeah, you're going to go a little faster, but like you say, your VMG might not be the best. So I think learning that low mode and how to set up for it is something we're all going to have to practice and get used to. And some of the boats are doing a really good job of it.
I think it's easy on Sunday to just get into the mode of just putting it right on the breeze and going as fast as you can all the time. And that was good.
Well,
that was
fun.
good.
It's
right,
fun.
And fun for sure. But in that Saturday condition with up and down wind, you've got to be transitioning from puff to lull. So it's very important.
How about the tuning numbers? The tuning guides that are on Melges.com and Quantum Sales. What are we seeing there as far as setup and the advancement of that?
Yeah, well, the numbers that we have listed in the tuning guide seem to be working really well. I know those are the numbers that the top two boats were working off of, and those seem to be pretty fast settings. Basically, what we found out was a half turn on your turnbuckle is a number on your loose gauge. So the steps for the Melges 15, if you're measuring your rig tension off of your head stay, are 17 on a PT1 loose gauge, 19, 21, and 24. And those correlate to different wind conditions. You can look at that on the tuning guide. But what we were finding is if you wanted to move from 17 to 19, all it is 2 half turns on your side stays. So that's kind of a good, thing to remember when you're out on the water. Hey, we were at 17 when we came out, or base when we came out, and we want to, transition into a little bit tighter rig because the winds come up. Okay, it's just 2 half turns on our side stays and we're there. So that's a good, thing to kind of remember and to, even, laminate the tuning guide and write that right on there so you can remember when you're on the water, keep it in your life jacket pocket. So
even so, with all that, as we learn and progress in the boat is so simple and so easy to sail and easy to set up and tune.
Yeah.
We're talking about little things, but just the basics of going out to sail the Melges 15 is so easy, and that's why we see the popularity, because the fun and the speed is built into the boat.
Yeah.
You just got to go sail it.
Absolutely. So our next event is the third Melges 15 Winter Series event. It's the Melges 15 Midwinters. It's a 3-day event. So if you haven't checked out the Melges 15 or looked into it, I encourage you to do so. It's a growing class, and it's going to be a lot of fun this summer.